Welcome to the Marketing Nomad Show, the fun pit stop for all your marketing needs to grow your online business to consistent 5K months and beyond. I'm your host, Prit, and I usually talk about online marketing strategies, social media, and I also do share a little bit about my entrepreneurial journey as a business owner, online coach, and a membership owner. If you are an online coach looking for simple, implementable marketing strategies to grow your business, then you've come to the right place. Now let's hop on to today's episode. Welcome back to the Marketing Nomad Show, guys. For those of you who are new, I'm the Marketing Nomad. I'm also Prit, and I'm a marketing strategist. I'm here to help online coaches implement simple and easy marketing strategies to grow their online coaching business to make consistent 5K months and beyond. On my podcast, I release episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I usually talk about marketing strategy, social media, and also my entrepreneurial journey as well, all right? So in today's episode, this is episode 28, by the way. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about 10 course launch hacks for you to sell better. Now, in this episode, we're kind of going to tweak your course launch process a little bit so that you know how to maximize your conversions, how to make your entire course launch process stress-free. Or, well, not completely stress-free because that's impossible, guys, but to at least make it a little bit more manageable because it's usually pretty crazy when it's your course launch period, and these hacks will sort of make your journey a little bit easier. These are hacks that I have personally learned over time, learned the hard way, and I've figured out, because I've done multiple course launches. In case that you guys are not aware, I've done at least 6 course launches in the past 1.5 years, all right? So I guess I would say I've got a process right now that runs pretty smoothly, and I know what to do. I know how to go about it. I know how to make my time more efficient because of those 6 course launches. It was crazy, but I learned a lot. And I'm able to help you with those 6 course launches. So I'm pretty excited about this episode. I know it's going to be super, super awesome. Take some time to go through this entire episode. If you'd like, the video version is always going to be available on YouTube as well, okay? So yes, so you can choose, guys. You can choose any of the podcast platforms, or you can just hop onto YouTube if you'd like to see my face and the entire setup and whatever feels comfortable to you. All right, so now I'm going to get started on today's episode. As you all know, these are just my cliff notes in front of me, and I usually just wing each episode as I go along, talk about whatever's on my mind at the time. I definitely feel more comfortable this way. It feels like I'm actually having a conversation with you rather than just being so stoic and rigid. Okay, enough of my talking. Let's get into what you're here for, and that is 10 course launch hacks to sell better. Okay, now the first thing is when you are launching your course, or when you are even figuring out what your course needs to be, you need to identify what makes you different, all right? Because it's pretty much common that your competitors are going to have the same offer, or your industry leader might even have the same offer. But what is it that makes your course different? Okay, and there are different versions of why your course could be different. It could be your price point. Maybe you have a premium price point. Maybe you have a lower price point. Maybe, for example, yours is a DIY course, and your competitors is maybe a do-it-for-you kind of course. So there are different aspects to this, and you need to understand what makes your course different. Okay, what makes you different as as an online coach, as someone who is an expert in your niche as well, okay? So once you kind of identify what makes you different, it becomes that much more easier for you to craft your marketing messages. Now, what are marketing messages? Messages that basically you put on your website or on social media or anywhere else, guys, any platform which has a call to action where you are talking about your product, your service, about you, and you are basically getting people to take the next step towards your course. Okay, so those are marketing messages. So when you are crafting your marketing messages, when you are telling people about your product, about your course, it just becomes that much more simpler because you now know that, okay, well, this is what makes me different. This is how I'm going to go about this entire course. This is why you should choose me. And because you have all of those things all set before you even started your course, it just becomes so much more easier for you to target your audience, for you to convey what your course is about, and for them to understand what makes you different as well, okay? So the first important thing is, even before you start your course, I recommend doing this. Figure out what is it that's going to make your course unique. And it doesn't have to be too complicated. It could be the premium price point. It could be maybe that your course is more fun and it's not so serious. That itself could be a huge plus point, because there are people who resonate with you better as a coach when you are fun, when you are relatable. So maybe that just helps them helps you attract the kind of clients that you are looking for as well. So make a short list. It doesn't have to be too long. Make a short list of what is going to be making your course or you as an online coach different. Okay, what makes you stand out, basically. So that is our first point. That is our first hack. Now the second one is to identify just one person who will buy your course. Now, I really want to reiterate this because I think that a lot of people, the mistake that they make, and including a lot of bigger businesses as well, is that they don't have one client that they are catering to, okay? They have an overall community perception of what their client should look like. And while that may be okay if you have a bigger marketing team and you have more people on board targeting each one of those specific personality types of your audience, you as a single online coach handling all of your marketing strategies, you need to only focus and zone in on one person, that one person who will buy your course, okay? And when I say identify that one person, I mean figure out every single possible thing about them. What do they like to eat? Where do they like to hang out? What are the magazines they like to read? What else? What social media platforms they're on? How do they talk? How do they text? Do they like a lot of emojis? Do they not like a lot of emojis? Are they very formal in their tone? Are they very casual? Or how is their personality? Identify their income, their family status. Are they single? Are they married? How many kids do they have if they're married? If they're not married, what is their mindset? What life event are they going through at that moment when they decide to buy your course? So identify that one person. Don't make it a community of people. It will just confuse you. It will just get more complicated as you are crafting your marketing messages. So identify one person. You can even give them a name. You can even give them a name like John or Sally or whoever it is. They have blue eyes. They have they love wearing maybe a Sephora lipstick 41 or something like that. Make sure that you have crafted this entire person out, okay, from head to toe, and have their entire background story. It's actually really fun, guys, to create a background story for your audience or for that one client. And the reason why you do this is for every single time that you are trying to sell your course, you are actually going to be thinking of just that one person in your mind. You are just going to be talking to Sally about your course. And it takes the pressure off of you because it doesn't feel like you're talking to a group of people. And especially for me, when I was first selling my courses, of course, after 6-7 launches, it does get a little bit, smoother and easier. But when I was first launching, and my course was the first time I was talking about a course, and it was just a crazy mindset to be in. And the fact that I had one person that I was just focusing on and talking to made everything so much more simpler. It was easier for me to talk about my product. It was easier for me to sell as well, okay? So feel that you are talking to just one person, and it becomes so much more easier. Even when you are talking on your stories, or you're going live, pretend that you are talking to one person and not a crowd of people. It becomes so much more simpler. Even when you are writing on your website, focus in on the pain points of just that one person. Don't try to include too many people, too many pain points. It just becomes confusing. And I know that there is a little bit of a fear saying, okay, well, if I zone in on just one person, then I'm abandoning so many other people. But what you don't realize is that by just focusing on that one person, you are actually including a ton of people into that community, because that one person actually resembles many other. So the more clear you are on that one person you're targeting, the more clear you become to actually every single person who has that pain point. And believe me guys, don't be afraid that, okay, there's just one person with that pain point. No, it's never like that. There's always going to be multiple people who have the same pain point, and you are just focusing on them. And it just helps you also as an online coach, because you are hyper aware of your audience's struggles, their pain points, and how you as an online coach can help them. Okay, so number 2 is identify that one person, just that one person who will buy your course, and craft messages for them. Think that you are just talking to that one person. Okay, it becomes so much more easier, guys. Now, the third thing is to test your idea first. All right, are you actually selling what people need? Now, I'm not sure how you come to the process of creating your course, but I'm pretty sure that it's A, something that you are passionate about, B, you think that people need it. However, and this was a mistake that I made for my first course launch too, guys, was that I assumed that people needed it because I thought that people needed it. And apparently, what you think might not always resonate with your audience, or it might not convert into reality, okay? So you have to understand that. And I think the first time that I launched, by the way, guys, if you don't know my entire story, I'll put a podcast episode where, I actually talked about each course launch. And my first 5 course launches were absolute failures, in the sense that there was nobody who came on board. I had 0 signups and stuff like that. So if you are interested to hear that story, I'll put it in the description box below. It's actually a pretty nice story. It was terrible for me to go through it, of course, but there were so many lessons learned, and I'm quite grateful for the entire experience. Okay, so I'll put that link in the in the description box below in case you're interested to know the story. So for my first 5 course launches, like I told you, nobody signed up, nobody came on board, and the mistake that I made for my first, I would say the first 2 or 3 course launches, I actually did not test my idea out. For the second and third, I just asked around. I just asked people, okay, would you be interested in this? And then they said yes, and then I went ahead with it. But turns out, even just asking people and for them to actually physically pay the money to go through with your course or your program is a lot different, okay? So I really recommend you testing that idea out. You can put it as like a beta test. You can keep it at a reduced pricing. I would personally recommend keeping it at a reduced pricing rather than giving it for free, because for free, everyone else is going to come, all right? And you want to basically validate your course idea. You want to see that, okay, people are willing to pay for this. And for you to get that validation, you of course need them to fundamentally pay. I mean, it's common sense, right? So if you are pretty unsure of, this is the first time and you're feeling nervous, and then you really want to go for the free and then rise it up to a slightly higher priced product, but less priced than your main actual course launch, that's also okay. My first beta client I did it for free, and then the next few I did it at a slightly higher price, and I kept increasing my price as I got on more beta clients. So that's something you can do as well, okay? If you're feeling nervous, you can go for free, but I highly recommend validating your idea at a price point that is slightly closer to your course launch price, okay? So even if you're doing beta testing and you're doing like 10 or 20%, I would not recommend that. I would at least do your beta pricing at 75% of your course launch, because you need to validate that, okay, people are going to buy this. And you can't do that because even if you charge it at 30%, there's still going to be that nagging thing at the back of your mind that says, well, 30% is really different from 100%. Are people going to buy it? Believe me, guys, I've been through all this, and that's why I've fought with all of these mindset issues, and that's why I'm so particular, even when I'm talking to my tribe members, is that when you are, testing out your course, make sure that your final beta test, okay, you can have as many beta tests as you want, okay? So your final beta test needs to be at a 75% price point of your course launch for you to be in that peaceful mindset that, okay, it's just a little bit more, I'm pretty sure people will pay for it. I've got this. So it just helps you be more confident, and confidence is what will make your course sell, guys. That is the final, I would say the bottom line of everything. If you are confident in your product, your audience will sense it and they will be confident in your product as well, okay? It's kind of like an energy flow kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that did, guys. Okay, so yes, where was I? Yes. Number 3, test your idea first. Make sure that you go through a beta testing process. Make sure that you keep the time for a beta testing process, guys. Don't just jump right into your course. It's just easier for you to have a beta test first. It makes you a lot more calm. I don't know what I was going to say, but it makes you a lot more calm when you are actually going through your course launch, okay? So that was number 3, guys, okay? Next, number 4 is the minute you realize that, okay, I want to be an online coach, I think I have a good product, I think I have the expertise to help someone else who's, in a similar situation and whatnot, I want you to start building your email list. Like the minute that thought even occurs in your mind, I really want you to start building your email list. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You could even just put it as a simple story, guys. Really, honestly, I think that people get so scared when they think about building your email list that they don't realize that the simplest methods are actually the most effective. What you can do is hop onto Canva, create a small freebie, something that you think that people would really like and appreciate the idea. You can all you have to do is hop onto your Instagram stories, put that question box, and then tell people, well, I've got this freebie. If you are interested, I will email this to you. Put your email. And believe me, guys, I've actually grown my email list through just this hack. So it doesn't have to be complicated email automation processes, because I know that when you're starting out, you probably don't have all of those figured out. So take maximum advantage of just your Instagram stories when you're starting out. That works, of course, as you grow, as you are more confident, as you have your website all set up, you can have a form to capture in the leads and all of those things, all of those etc., marketing stuff that I'm pretty sure that you will figure out. But when you're starting out, the minute that thought hits, start building your email list. And believe me, it will transform everything. Even if you just have 10 people to begin with, those are 10 leads. Those are 10 potential people who are looking at something that you are offering, okay? And I would recommend, once you have their emails, check in with them every month or so, or every 2 weeks. It doesn't have to be a full-blown newsletter with complicated stuff and, pictures and stuff like that. It just has to be a simple email saying, just checking in, is there anything that you would like help with? Are you struggling with something in this particular niche? Just a simple email, a personal one-on-one email. And I think that when you are starting out, the best thing is that, the smaller the number, the more personalized you can get when you are talking to them, all right? So when you are starting out, probably you are at 10 email email list subscribers or something like that, and you can just personally email them. Just take up 1 hour on a Sunday, craft an email and send it out to all 10 of them personally, and believe me guys, that will actually start building a relationship with them as well. Okay, so that's a huge pro tip that I do have for you. I do have a freebie for you if you are interested, 10 ways to build your email list. I will put the link in the description box below. It's completely free, and it will basically help you figure out 10 different ways to start building your email list and where to get started basically. So if you're interested, I'm going to put that link in the description box below. Okay? Alrighty. Now in the fifth point that I'm going to be talking about is, again, now when I was talking about, validating your course and stuff like that, what you can do to grab people's attention, especially when you are launching for the first time and people are not aware of who you are as a coach or what do you do or stuff like that, what you can do is sell a part of your course for free, okay? Kind of like a sneak peek of your course. And what this basically helps is it helps people identify what exactly you do, what kind of coach you are, what does your course have, and whether it is what they are looking for as well. So you can sell a part of your course for absolutely free. You can even keep like a 7-day trial period or something like that, and that also works. And then you also, you can't just leave them like that after you've given them the trial period or a sneak peek. You need to follow up. You need to make sure that you are following up and you are checking in with them, and it's a little bit of work on your end, but trust me guys, they need that one-on-one attention from you so that they convert to your paid client soon after. So I think this is pretty self-explanatory. It's just sell a part of your course. Maybe you can keep module 1 free, and then if they want access to the rest of your course, they can hop on to the paid plan or something like that. So that's pretty simple, and make sure that you have email reminders to remind them of a deadline. Make sure you do keep a deadline. Yes, I almost forgot to say that. Make sure you do keep a deadline, because this was one mistake that I made personally. When I launched the InstaSavvy Tribe, as you guys know, is my monthly marketing membership program for online coaches. So it's basically like a one-stop shop for all your marketing needs. I have courses, I have templates, I have worksheets, all of those things. So when I first started with the InstaSavvy Tribe, it was a membership program, and it's a little unique in the sense that people usually have like an entire course. They don't really have a membership for marketing strategies, and I felt that a membership was important because you really need that consistent help, especially when it comes to marketing strategies for an online coaching business. So when I first started out, I gave a sneak peek of module 1 for my for people who were interested, and a mistake that I made at the time was I did not give a deadline. So they just had access to module 1 for a limitless amount of time, which is so terrible because there was no urgency that I provided for them to convert to a paid plan. Nor did I tell them that, okay, well, once you finish with this, there's something more for you, and there was no pressure on them to convert. So that was a mistake that I made, and from then on, I decided to keep 7-day trial periods, especially during my course, when I have with the affiliate program and stuff like that. But I'm just telling you that if you are keeping a part of your course for free, you need to give that urgency, you need to give that deadline, you need to let them know by when, and closer to the deadline, you need to send them a little bit more of an email reminder, a couple of emails to remind them of why your product is so awesome, why you are so awesome, how they will benefit, what is the transformation that they can see, testimonials, all of those things towards closer to the deadline that you give them, basically, okay? So 5th point was pretty self-explanatory, but I know that I gave you guys a couple of tips on how to tackle if you are going for a free part of your course. And of course, guys, if you are interested in the InstaSavvy Tribe, I'll put the link in the description box below. If you are in need of more marketing help from me, then at just $39 a month, you get access to every single course that I do have, whether it's helping you with your Instagram, helping you with your blogs, with growing your email list, all of those things. So I'll put that in the description box below. All right. Now, number 6, and this is definitely something that has worked so well for me, guys, and that is webinars, or even just choosing to go live on Instagram or LinkedIn, wherever you are, wherever you feel comfortable, or wherever your target audience is, basically. Okay, so even if you want to go live on Clubhouse, so good, guys. So what basically this going live, the pros of it is that when you do go live, it gives people a chance to actually talk to you. One thing that I realized during my course launches, and especially during the last few that I did, because my courses were more laid out and they were more a premium price and stuff like that, is that especially when you are priced at a premium rate, people have a lot of questions and they are very hesitant to ask you those questions one-on-one. However, when you go live, people are more willing to ask those questions because as you are talking, it starts to feel like a conversation. It's not something that they have to approach you and ask you questions. So I highly recommend going live on LinkedIn, Instagram, Clubhouse, any platform where you can go live. Try going live. If you want to do a full-blown webinar, even those work as well. Make sure that you do have like a small Q&A session at the end of whatever you are teaching, because those work as well, and those help you convert way better than if you were to just do a course launch without going live or without doing a webinar. So this point number 6, guys, I'm telling you, it works so well, and I highly recommend choosing to do one. And you can even, choose to go live and choose to do a Q&A session, just a Q&A session, and then put it in your feed if you are on LinkedIn or on Instagram. And that itself, if in the future somebody asks you about your program, you can always just redirect them to that live, whatever, the IGTV that you have done or the live that you've done. And this idea was actually pitched to me by a tribe member. Her name is Maria. So Maria, thank you so much for this idea. I absolutely love this, and it's only through these tribe huddles. So in TISD, we have something called a tribe huddle, where each tribe member, we come up with our own problems, we kind of brainstorm solutions, and this solution, guys, was given to me by Maria, and it was just fantastic. I absolutely loved it. So yes, so basically going live and saving that video and posting it, so anytime somebody asks you about your program, you have an entire video that they can watch, and with the call to action at the end. Okay, so that was number 6. Then we have number 7, guys. Okay, so number 7 is, so basically one of the biggest things that I see in my tribe as well is that people think that they need to have a full-blown course ready before they launch. And honestly, guys, when I first launched, not the first launch, my 5th and my 6th launch, and of course my 7th one was the InstaSavvy Tribe, I did not have anything out. I just proposed a concept. I just went ahead with it. I told people what to expect. I was very clear that I said I have not created anything. I will create it as I go along, as I work with you. And that's basically what happened, guys. Okay, so as I was creating my course, I started letting people in on what I was doing. If I was creating the website for the InstaSavvy Tribe, I actually took a video of it, a short video of it, and posted it on my stories. And I was actually selling as I was creating it. I was getting people invested into my process of becoming a membership owner, of switching from an online coach to a membership owner. And once people became invested in the process, in my excitement, in my journey, they were so much more open to the idea of joining the InstaSavvy Tribe. Okay, so basically I think that this is super powerful, especially if you are an online coach. So especially when you're starting out, and believe me guys, I've been through this as well, when you're starting out, you are definitely hesitant to share your journey because you feel like you need to have all your ducks in a row. You need to be completely clear about what you're doing, whatnot, and stuff like that. But to be honest, I've shared even my hiccups, my mistakes online, and that just made people realize that, well, I'm showing them a part of my journey. I'm being absolutely raw. And it's not that, I don't make mistakes or, I have everything figured out. No, it isn't that way. But I'm willing to let them see how I go about it, my thought process and everything. And that, believe me guys, is such a magical moment for your audience as well. So I highly recommend this. Sell as you create. Just give them an insight. You can do a behind the scenes every couple of days. You can talk about what you're doing in the day. You can talk about if you are creating a course, maybe you're creating the slides for a course. So maybe you want to show the behind the scenes of how you create the course, or how you plan your content, or how do you do your recording. All of those things. Even though you are not physically or explicitly selling it, you are selling. Okay? And that's one of the best marketing tactics that I can ever tell you. It's when you sell without selling, that's the best. Okay? So always, try to get them invested in your process, in you as a person. And believe me guys, that is absolutely transformative in terms of your selling process. And for me personally, just a mindset issue, I guess. I always have a problem with selling, like explicitly selling. Yes, it is something that I have had to overcome, but it is that nagging thought at the back of my head that I still do have. So for me, this way is such a low pressure way for me to talk about my offer. It's such a low pressure way of me, telling them that something for their benefit exists and they can hop on it if they'd like. Okay, so sell as you create. 7 point, super interesting way to sell, and I highly advocate this way. Okay. Now, the 8th one is to offer a flash discount for the first round of students. So maybe for the first 3 students who come on, or maybe for the people who book it over the weekend, or maybe the people who book it within the hour. Give them some sort of an encouragement, or that little bit of push, so that they don't take their own sweet time to hop on your course. That's usually a good thing. It's called, you can do a flash sale. I don't think it's called a flash sale. I think it's just, I had that word in my mind and then I forgot it. But I think it's more of, it's called a fast action bonus, where, you basically give people that bonus because they took fast action and they didn't wait forever and ever to join your course. That also shows high level of trust in you. So you're kind of giving them the thumbs up, saying, okay, I see you, I know you trust me, thank you so much, and here's your fast action bonus. So I've seen a lot of industry leaders do this. A lot of people with their course launches, they usually have a fast action bonus for the weekend. I've seen Vanessa Lau do this. I've seen Amy Porterfield do this for their course launches as well. So that is something that you can try as well for yours. It just gives them a positive reinforcement that, okay, I see that you really trust me and I appreciate that, so here's just a special bonus for you. And when you are giving out fast action bonuses, I do recommend that you only keep a specific kind of bonus and you don't keep it for the rest of the students who hop on, because that can kind of create an ill feeling. So you want to make sure that your fast action bonuses are truly only for the students who have taken that action, or the first few students who come on board. Okay, so that is number 8. Number 9 is something that I personally struggled with as well, and that is to set a date and just go ahead with it. Okay, honestly, when you are creating your course, there's a lot of things that go behind the scenes, yes, and you do need to factor in some time for that, but you also do need to keep a set date and make sure that you are working around that date, because if you don't set a date, you're going to take forever to launch and you are not going to launch. I can guarantee that you will never be ready, you will never feel ready, you will never move forward with it if you don't keep a set date. So keep that set date. And for me, even when I did keep a set date, I kept pushing it in my mind. So what I ended up doing was I just put it out there. I just told people that this is the date I'm going to launch. And the minute you tell people that, okay, this is the date I'm going to launch, it holds you accountable. It makes, it kind of puts a little bit of a backbone for you to, I don't know, fall back on, I guess. And then you realize, okay, I've told people this, so I have to move forward with this. I can't go back on my word and stuff like that. It just adds a little bit of pressure, yes, but it also makes sure that you are following through your actions. So that is a huge tip that I do have for you. Understand that your course, okay, whether you are launching a membership or whether you are launching an online course, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be out there for people to know that it exists, that a solution exists for their pain points, okay? So make sure that you are absolutely clear on the date, and you even tell people, just put it out there, just tell people, don't overthink it. And I would say from when you decide to launch your course, make sure that you give yourself a good 1 month of prep time. That's the only thing that I would say. So make sure you just set a date and put it out there. That helps you with your accountability as well, okay? So that was number 9 for you. Number 10 is, before you start on your course, I want you to plan backwards. Plan your marketing, plan your promotions backwards. So for number 9, you had set a date. So you set the date, okay? And you plan your work backwards. Don't plan it from the day you start and then plan out your action items, your goals, because you'll just end up taking up more time than you need for your course launch and for you to prep your back-end work. So always, like I said, set the date and then work backwards from it. So maybe you set a date 1 month later, right? So maybe the 4th week, you are planning out your email marketing, you're planning out 12 emails that will go out over 7 days. And then the 3rd week, you're working on maybe figuring out your story templates for Instagram, your LinkedIn words, you're scheduling out posts. Maybe in your 2nd week, you have your outline of your course planned out, you're doing your landing page, you are figuring out the back-end website work, how to fill the form, how to get your payment gateways ready. And then maybe week 1, you are, let's say for example, talking to people and validating your idea, doing a small beta test, and all of those things. So you work backwards from the date you set for your course launch date and not working forward from when you are starting your course, okay? So that's a big mistake that I made too, because when you start from where you are, okay, there's a high chance that you're going to end up assuming, oh, I'm going to take 2 weeks for my marketing, I'm going to take 2 weeks for email marketing, and then you'll end up with a timeline that is 6 months down the line. Okay, believe me guys, the weeks add up. So when you have your date set and you work backwards from it, I don't know if there's like, I don't know if you know this quote or this idiom, and I don't know who said it, but work truly expands to fit the time that you do have. So when you work backwards, you are putting yourself on a clock and you are making sure that you are efficiently doing what you need to do and not what everything else that you could possibly do, like all the fluff and stuff like that. Because believe me, marketing, you can have your email marketing for 10 weeks, you can have it for 1 week. It just depends on how much time you have on your end. So as much as possible, you want to make sure that your course is launched sooner than later, of course, but I would say give yourself at least a month for your entire marketing promotions and prep. But if you'd like, you can take maybe a little bit more than that, but beyond 2 months, I would say there's something wrong there. You need to rethink your timeline, for the sole reason that if you're taking longer than 2 months, it means you're overthinking everything, okay? So I would say 1 month, even if you are working a 9 to 5 and you're planning to launch a course, like I said, guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be out there. And I was telling during my beta client phase, when I was doing one-on-one, what happened was a client of mine said, I'm working 9 to 5 and I don't have time to get my course up and running. So all I said was, you just need to put it out there that you are offering one-on-one coaching calls, and you structure it that way. And that's what she did, guys. She had 2 calls for 2 weeks, spread 1 week apart, 1 hour each, and she would do them on the weekends as well. And all she had to do was put Instagram posts about those coaching calls. That's it. She didn't even need to get her coaching course ready, or the scripts and whatnot. No, it was just that, as simple as that. It just needs to be out there, and this was a beta phase. And slowly she moved on to create a full-fledged course. So it's just all about getting it out there, getting people to validate your idea, getting people to acknowledge that, okay, there is a solution for their problems, and getting people to know that they can approach you if they want a solution for their problems, okay? So that was number 10, guys, and that is planning your marketing and your promotions from, your deadline and not from where you are at. So work backwards, don't work forwards in this aspect. So we're just gonna go over all the points that I talked about just really quickly. Let me refresh your memory. We started with number 1, and that was to find something that makes you different. What is your unique selling point? What is your USP? What makes you stand out from your competition? What makes your online course different from what they can see everywhere else, okay? Number 2 is identify one person who will buy your course. Figure out their personality, figure out who they are, what they do, all of those things, their income, their marital status, all of those things, guys. Figure all of that out and just name that one person. Pretend like you are talking to that one person, and it just becomes so much more simpler for you. Number 3 was making sure that you test your idea first. And testing does not just mean, asking people if they would like to join your course, or just a verbal agreement. Make sure that you are actually bringing on clients for a beta test at a priced point, guys. Make sure that you are charging them for your beta process, so that you are validating that people will be willing to pay the price point that you have chosen, okay? Then number 4 is you have to start building your email list the minute you realize you want to sell a course, okay? So there are simple ways to do it. I have a freebie for you. It's in the description box. 10 ways to build your email list. It's just one click of a button. You can download it, okay? Number 5 is sell a part of your course for free, like a sneak peek of it, and then make sure that you are making the efforts of converting them, those users, to your full product once the deadline is hit, which means you really need to keep a deadline for them as well, okay? Then number 6 was, choose to go live on LinkedIn, on Instagram, even Clubhouse. You can even do webinars as well. That really helps to get that one-on-one with your client, your potential client, of course. And it helps them, it creates a risk-free environment for them to ask their questions about your product, about your course. Then number 7 is sell as you create. Get them invested in your process. All right, you might be an online coach, and for you it might seem pretty mundane, but for everyone else it's something that's different for them. Your clients may or may not be online coaches themselves, so they might actually get invested in your process. How do you create your course? How do you record, and all of those things? It's beautiful, guys. So make sure you show them a bit of your process. And even if they are online coaches, like for me, my clients are online coaches themselves, they find it absolutely fascinating to see how I plan my March goals, or how I plan my podcast episodes and stuff like that. So there's always something that is fascinating for people about what you do, because you are unique at the end of the day, right? And there are some things that are unique to you. So make sure that you're putting that out, and this just helps you sell without selling. And personally for me, that's always the best way to sell, okay? Then we have number 8, offer a flash discount to the first round of students, or you can do something like a fast action bonus for the weekend or something like that. Depends on what works for you and what you are comfortable with. Number 9 is set a date and put it out there, guys. Doesn't have to be perfect. Like I always say, it just needs to be out there. And then my 10th one was, after you've set a date and you've put yourself out there, make sure that you plan your marketing and promotions backwards. Don't plan it from where you are at today. Plan it backwards from the date that you've set, and that just helps you manage your time more efficiently. It helps you remove all the fluff that you probably don't need to do, okay? It helps you hyper-focus on the tasks that are absolutely important for you to have your course launch, okay? And that, brings me to the end of episode number 28, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, and if you are watching this on YouTube, please feel free to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell because that tells you every single time I do upload a video. Like I told you guys, I upload a video and podcast episode every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We usually talk about marketing strategy, social media strategy, and also entrepreneurial tips as well. For those of you listening on any one of the popular podcast platforms, please do leave me a review if you really like this episode. It helps me with my podcast ranking. It helps me help more people like you. Okay, guys, I am going to call this a day. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope that your course launch, whoops, that was me hitting my water bottle. I hope that your course launch goes super awesome. All the very best. It is going to go awesome, guys. Don't worry about it. Just make sure you have these hacks in mind. Let me know in the comments below, guys. Let me know how your course launch went, which tip resonated with you. I'll be so happy to hear from you and hear your course launch stories as well. Bye-bye.